Hi, this is Jason from PreVeteran and welcome back to our PreVeteran YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about two obvious truths when it comes to getting ready for your military transition. One is you need to self-transform, and number two, you do not need chain of command approval to do so. Before we get started, go ahead and subscribe to this channel by clicking the little red button below, and also follow us on our LinkedIn company page, which is in the comments. Okay, you ready to go? Let's go. Getting started here, you need to know a very bitter truth about the moment you walk out the door when you leave the military. The second you walk out that door, no one, and I mean no one, is going to contact you and go, "How's your transition going?" And the simple reason is because they don't need to, and that's not their job. Transition is on you, and it always has been, although maybe it hasn't been couched that way in the past. So to personify this story, I'm going to tell you my personal story, but consider it as an aggregate of other people I've talked to, because I've talked to hundreds who have had very similar experiences. So I retired out of the Pentagon in 2014. I was in a wonderful office. I had been there 6 years. I knew the people very well and had good relationships. But literally the moment I walked out that door, not a text, not an email, not a phone call. And I didn't feel bad about it. I didn't take it personally because I knew that I was just a tiny wheel in a big cog of the Department of Defense, and that this transition was mine. So knowing that simple truth that no one is going to give you a phone call, text, or email, what should you do? So from a PreVeteran standpoint, we recommend that you embrace the self-transformation as soon as possible. I'm going to give you 3 main reasons for why you should self-transform, and you should start doing it now. Number 1, you are in a less than 1% of the population when you are in the active military component. And when you leave that active military component, you are entering the 93% of the US population, which has no affiliation whatsoever with the military. So guess what? They're in your community, they're in your churches, and your employment areas, which means they're your hiring managers, your HR folks, and your executives and directors that are overseeing you in that employment environment. Number 2, whether you've spent 4 years or 20 years in the service, you will spend more time out of uniform than you did in uniform contributing to the national economy. The numbers just work out that way. And number 3, those things that are supposedly there to help you, like TAP and SkillBridge, it really feels like you have to kind of jump through your butt and get a lot of approvals from your chain of command in order to participate in those programs, right? So we'd like to give you another option, which is PreVeteran. We invite you to join. The nice thing about it is you don't have to go through all those wickets we just talked about with TAP or SkillBridge. And the only people you need to clear it with is the person you look at in the mirror every day and your significant other if you have one. So you might be asking yourself, why PreVeteran? And it's a great question. So if you go back to those numbers we were talking about before, the vast majority of you are going to become private sector employees. So it only makes sense that you should go seek a model that can get you from where you are now to being a successful employee in the company that you would wish to be employed by. And our PreVeteran model is a simple 3-step model. I'll run through each of the steps quickly. The first step is where we help you identify the obstacles in your head that stand in your way of being successful. We do that with our proprietary cognitive neuroscience-based models. The idea being, in that first step, we can help you identify and then mitigate those obstacles. And that takes us into step 2, where we can fill new information in your head that you're not fighting us on that relate to the differences in the public and private sector, and how that boils down to the very specific people they're looking for to fill roles in their company. And then finally, in step 3, we have you iterate the process. By using the same cognitive neuroscience-based models, we want you to do as many cognitive cycles as you can. The more iterations you do, looking for the right industry, company, and roles, the closer you'll actually get to what you want and the more successful you'll be. So if all that sounds interesting, we encourage you to go to the PreVeteran website. If this is your first time, we encourage you to download the 5-step guide. If you're ready to take a class and you're ready to jump in, go to our courses page and you'll see the employment prep course there. There's either a wait list that's open or you could sign up right away. And if you're new to PreVeteran, we recommend that when you're on the website, you go to the About Us page, to the pull-down menu, and look at the news and press. And there you could peruse our articles to get a really good idea of what PreVeteran is doing and why it's different than everyone else. Okay, we've reached the end of this video. We hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you next week again with our next video.